The Vanishing Act. Admiral Zixthar of the Galactic Confederation stood before the holographic display, his 4 eyes narrowed in concentration. The pulsating red dots representing their most advanced scout ships blinked out one by one as they approached the Sol system. It was the 3rd such fleet to vanish without a trace in as many galactic cycles. "Impossible," he muttered, his tentacles twitching with agitation. How can a primitive species like humans possess technology capable of this? His second-in-command, Sub-Admiral Kor, floated beside him, her bioluminescent skin flickering with concern. "Perhaps it's not technology, sir. Could it be a natural phenomenon we've overlooked?" Zixthar shook his head, mandibles clicking in frustration. "Unlikely. Our sensors would have detected any anomalies. No, this is deliberate. And it's time we took direct action." The command center of the Confederation's flagship buzzed with activity. Alien species from across the galaxy worked in unison, their varied physiologies a testament to the diversity of life among the stars. Yet for all their advanced technology and interstellar experience, Earth remained an enigma. "Prepare a diplomatic vessel," Zixthar ordered. "We'll approach openly this time. No more stealth. If the humans have indeed developed such formidable defenses, we must know how." As the crew scrambled to obey, Kor voiced the concern that hung heavy in the recycled air. "And if they prove hostile, Admiral?" Zixthar's exoskeleton creaked as he turned to face the vast view screen, the blue-green orb of Earth now centered in its display. "Then may the cosmic architects have mercy on us all." Thousands of light years away, in a secret underground facility beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Elena Rodriguez removed her VR headset and smiled triumphantly at her team. "Another fleet neutralized, folks. The shield system is performing beyond our wildest expectations." The room erupted in cheers. The stealth holographic interception and extraction of localized dimensions, HFY, was humanity's greatest achievement, and its best-kept secret. Colonel Jack Harper, the military liaison to the project, approached Elena with a mix of awe and concern on his weathered face. "Outstanding work, Doctor. But we can't keep this up forever. Sooner or later, they're going to catch on." Elena nodded, her excitement tempered by the weight of their responsibility. "I know, Jack, but every ship we divert buys us more time. Time to prepare, to unite. Humanity isn't ready for open contact yet, let alone conflict. And where exactly are we sending these alien ships?" a young technician asked, voicing the question that had been on everyone's minds. Elena's eyes twinkled with mischief. "Let's just say they're getting a scenic tour of some alternate dimensions. They're perfectly safe, just temporarily misplaced." As if on cue, alarms blared throughout the facility. A frantic voice came over the intercom. "Dr. Rodriguez, we're detecting a massive object entering the solar system. It's not trying to hide this time." The mood in the room shifted instantly from celebration to tense anticipation. Elena and Jack exchanged a knowing look. The game had changed. "Looks like our cosmic neighbors are done playing hide and seek," Jack muttered. Elena took a deep breath, squaring her shoulders. "Then it's time we show them what humanity is truly capable of. Initiate first contact protocols. And someone get me the president on the line. Things are about to get interesting." As the facility erupted into controlled chaos, Elena couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and dread. Humanity had managed to keep its most incredible technological leap a secret from both its own population and the watchful eyes of advanced alien civilizations. But now, the veil was about to be lifted. The SHIELD system, born from a breakthrough in quantum entanglement and dimensional phasing, had allowed them to simply sidestep incoming alien vessels into parallel dimensions. It was non-violent, elegant, and had bought Earth precious years to prepare for this moment. But as the alien diplomatic vessel drew closer, Elena knew that humanity's great deception was coming to an end. The question now was, how would the galaxy react to discovering that the supposedly primitive humans had outwitted them all? As she rushed to the communication center, Elena's mind raced with possibilities. Would this lead to peaceful exchange of knowledge? Or would the Galactic Confederation see Earth's deception as an act of war? One thing was certain. The next few hours would determine the fate of humanity and its place among the stars. And Elena Rodriguez, the architect of Earth's greatest defense, would be at the heart of it all. The vanishing fleets had been just the opening act. Now, the true cosmic drama was about to unfold. Human ingenuity unveiled. The Oval Office buzzed with tension as President Amara Okafor faced the assembled leaders of Earth's most powerful nations. On screens around the room, the alien diplomatic vessel loomed large, its otherworldly design a stark reminder of the situation's gravity. Ladies and gentlemen, President Okafor began, her voice steady despite the weight of history pressing down on her shoulders. The moment we've long prepared for has arrived. Dr. Rodriguez, if you would explain our position. Elena stepped forward, acutely aware that the fate of humanity hung on her words. For the past decade, we've been using the SHIELD system to redirect alien scout ships to parallel dimensions. It's bought us time, but now we must decide how to reveal our capabilities to the Galactic Confederation. The Chinese premier leaned forward, eyes narrow. And you're certain this system cannot be used as a weapon? Elena shook her head. SHIELD is purely defensive. It creates localized dimensional bubbles that shift objects into parallel realities. We can return the ships at any time, but offensive applications are limited. Remarkable, the Russian president muttered. But how do we know these aliens won't retaliate once they learn of our deception? Before Elena could respond, a new voice cut through the tension. Because we've given them no reason to. All eyes turned to the door where a tall, lanky figure stood, his wild hair and rumpled lab coat a stark contrast to the formal attire of the room's occupants. Dr. Hiroki Tanaka. Elena breathed, a mix of relief and exasperation in her voice. I thought you were still in Antarctica. The eccentric genius grinned, striding into the room with the confidence of someone used to bending reality to his will. I was, until an hour ago. Quantum entanglement has its perks, you know. President Okafor raised an eyebrow. Dr. Tanaka, I presume you have something to add. Indeed I do, Madam President. Hiroki's eyes gleamed with excitement. While Elena and her team have been playing interdimensional hide-and-seek, my team has been communicating with the displaced alien crews. A gasp rippled through the room. Elena felt her jaw drop. How? The dimensional shift should have prevented normal communication. Yes, Hiroki nodded. But it also created a unique quantum resonance. We've been using it to exchange information, cultural insights, even scientific knowledge. They're not angry, Elena. They're fascinated. The revelation hit the room like a shockwave. Years of fear and preparation suddenly shifted into a new light. Are you saying, the British Prime Minister began slowly, that we've accidentally created the most elaborate cultural exchange program in history? Hiroki beamed. Exactly. And now, with this diplomatic vessel approaching, we have a chance to bring it all into the open. As the implications sank in, Elena's mind raced. They had prepared for conflict, for the need to defend Earth against superior technology. Instead, they had stumbled into a position of unexpected strength, armed with knowledge and goodwill. We need to move fast, she said, turning to President Okafor. If we approach the diplomatic vessel with openness, explaining SHIELD and offering to return their scout ships, we could turn this into a true first contact scenario. The president nodded, her expression resolute. Agreed. Dr. Rodriguez, Dr. Tanaka, you'll lead the delegation. Your knowledge of both the technology and our inadvertent guests will be crucial. As the meeting adjourned and preparations began, Elena found herself standing next to Hiroki, still processing the turn of events. Why didn't you tell me? She asked quietly. Hiroki's usual grin softened into a more serious expression. At first, we weren't sure what we were dealing with. By the time we understood, It seemed safer to keep it compartmentalized. "I'm sorry, Elena. I know how much this project means to you." She nodded, understanding the logic even as she grappled with the implications. "It's all right. What matters now is how we move forward. Any insights on alien diplomacy from your chats across dimensions?" Hiroki's grin returned full force. "Oh, you wouldn't believe the stories I have to tell. Did you know the Zorktarians have 7 genders and communicate partially through bioluminescence?" As they walked towards the waiting transport, Elena couldn't help but laugh. Humanity had stumbled its way into a position of galactic importance through a mixture of paranoia, ingenuity, and sheer dumb luck. It was so perfectly, chaotically human. Hours later, as their shuttle approached the massive alien vessel, Elena felt a mix of trepidation and exhilaration. The shield system hummed quietly, ready to protect Earth if things went south. But for the first time, she truly believed it wouldn't be necessary. "Ready to make history?" Hiroki asked, his eyes fixed on the approaching docking bay. Elena took a deep breath, squaring her shoulders, ready to unveil human ingenuity to the galaxy. As the airlock cycled and the door prepared to open, Elena realized that this moment wasn't just about first contact. It was about showing the universe what humanity was truly capable of, not just technologically, but in their capacity for adaptation, innovation, and understanding. The door slid open, revealing a delegation of alien beings more diverse and wondrous than Elena had ever imagined. At their head stood a tall, regal figure with 4 eyes and shimmering tentacles, Admiral Zixthar himself. With a smile that bridged light years and dimensions, Elena stepped forward. "On behalf of Earth, welcome. We have quite a story to tell you." The human ingenuity that had kept them hidden was now about to propel them onto the galactic stage. And as introductions began, Elena knew that the greatest adventure in human history was just beginning. First contact and confrontation. The conference room aboard the Galactic Confederation flagship hummed with an energy that transcended species. Admiral Zixthar's 4 eyes blinked in rapid succession, a sign of intense concentration among his kind, as he processed the information presented by the human delegation. "Let me ensure I understand correctly," Zixthar began, his translator converting his complex series of clicks and whistles into English. "Your shield technology didn't destroy our scout ships, but rather relocated them to alternate dimensions." Elena nodded, fighting to keep her composure in the face of such alien scrutiny. "Correct, Admiral. It was a defensive measure, designed to buy us time to prepare for first contact while avoiding conflict." Sub-Admiral Kor, her bioluminescent skin pulsing with a mix of colors that Elena assumed indicated curiosity and skepticism, leaned forward. "And Dr. Tanaka's team has been in communication with our crews this entire time." Hiroki grinned, his excitement palpable. "Indeed, we've learned so much about your cultures, sciences, and philosophies. It's been an incredible exchange of knowledge." A low murmur rippled through the assembled alien delegates. Elena could sense a mix of emotions, amazement, confusion, and a hint of something that might have been respect. Admiral Zixthar's tentacles curled thoughtfully. "I must admit, when we first detected the disappearances, we feared the worst. The idea that a species as young as humanity could possess such technology seemed improbable. Improbable, but not impossible," Elena countered, a hint of pride in her voice. "Humanity has always been driven by curiosity and the need to protect ourselves. Shield is the result of both those impulses." As the discussion continued, delving into the technical aspects of Shield and the cultural insights gained through Hiroki's interdimensional communications, Elena felt a growing sense of optimism. The aliens seemed genuinely interested, even impressed, by humanity's ingenuity. However, just as it seemed they were making real progress, a new voice cut through the dialogue. "This is unacceptable." All eyes turned to a corner of the room where a tall, spindly being with iridescent scales stood, its multiple limbs quivering with what Elena recognized as anger. Ambassador Skurith. Admiral Zixthar acknowledged, his tone cautious. You have concerns. The Arthesian ambassador slithered forward, its compound eyes fixed on the human delegation. Concerns. These primitives have been manipulating spacetime itself, interfering with Confederation operations, and eavesdropping on our personnel. This is not the action of a peaceful species preparing for first contact. This is the foundation for galactic domination. Elena felt her heart rate spike. This was exactly the kind of reaction they feared. Ambassador, I assure you, our intentions were purely defensive. Intentions. Skurith spat, cutting her off. Your actions speak louder than your words, human. You've demonstrated the ability to remove entire fleets from reality itself. What's to stop you from doing the same to populated worlds that stand in your way? The room erupted into chaos, with various alien delegates shouting opinions and demands in a cacophony of languages that strained the translation systems. Admiral Zixthar attempted to restore order, but the tension was palpable. Hiroki leaned close to Elena, whispering urgently, "We need to de-escalate this fast. Any ideas?" Elena's mind raced. They had prepared for skepticism, even fear, but this level of hostile paranoia threatened to unravel everything. Then, a wild idea struck her. Ambassador Skurith, she called out, her voice cutting through the din. You're right to be cautious, so let us prove our peaceful intentions. Allow me to use shield on myself. The room fell silent, all eyes turning to Elena. Even Hiroki looked shocked. Elena, what are you doing? He hissed. She stood firm, meeting the Arthesian's compound gaze. If our technology is as dangerous as you fear, surely you'll agree that no sane species would use it on themselves. I propose a demonstration. I will subject myself to a shield transfer, monitored by your own scientists. You can verify that it's safe, temporary, and that communication is possible across the dimensional barrier. Admiral Zixthar's tentacles writhed in what Elena hoped was intrigue. An interesting proposal, Dr. Rodriguez, but the risk. The risk is mine to take, Elena interrupted. For the sake of peace and understanding between our peoples, I'm willing to make this gesture. Ambassador Skurith's scales shimmered, its anger seeming to give way to grudging curiosity. And you would submit to our examinations, both before and after this transfer. Elena nodded solemnly. Absolutely. Transparency is key to building trust. A tense silence fell over the room as the alien delegates conferred among themselves. Elena could feel Hiroki's concerned gaze boring into her, but she kept her eyes fixed on Admiral Zixthar and Ambassador Skurith. Finally, the Admiral spoke. We accept your proposal, Dr. Rodriguez. But know that if this is some form of deception, the consequences will be severe. Elena allowed herself a small smile. Understood, Admiral. Shall we proceed? As preparations began for the unprecedented demonstration, Elena felt the weight of history on her shoulders. She was about to become the first human to voluntarily experience interdimensional travel, observed by representatives from across the galaxy. The fate of Earth's relationship with the galactic community hung in the balance. But as she caught Hiroki's supportive nod and saw the mix of curiosity and apprehension on the aliens' faces, Elena knew she had made the right choice. This was more than just a demonstration of technology. It was a testament to humanity's courage, adaptability, and commitment to peaceful coexistence. As the shield device was brought aboard and calibrated, Elena took a deep breath. For Earth, she whispered to herself, stepping onto the platform. For understanding. The device hummed to life, and Elena felt the familiar tingle of dimensional energy washing over her. As reality began to shift around her, she locked eyes with Admiral Zixthar, silently conveying a message of hope and determination. In that moment, as she stood on the precipice between dimensions, Elena Rodriguez became more than just a scientist. She became humanity's ambassador to the universe, bridging the gap between worlds in ways no one had ever imagined possible. The light engulfed her, and Elena stepped into the unknown, carrying with her the dreams and aspirations of her entire species. Battle for Earth. The tension aboard the Galactic Confederation flagship was palpable as all eyes focused on the shimmering field of energy where Dr. Elena Rodriguez had stood moments before. Hiroaki Tanaka held his breath, his fingers flying over a portable console as he monitored the shield device's readings. "Dimensional shift complete," he announced, his voice steady despite his internal turmoil. "Dr. Rodriguez should now be in the parallel dimension we've designated as Shift Alpha." Admiral Zixthar's 4 eyes blinked in rapid succession. "And you can confirm her safety?" "Her continued existence." Hiroki nodded, tapping a series of commands. A holographic display sprang to life, showing a blurred but recognizable image of Elena, surrounded by a swirling alien landscape. "I'm here." Elena's voice came through, distorted but understandable. The transfer was successful. "It's incredible. The physics here are subtly different. I can see why our visiting ships were so disoriented." Ambassador Scarith slithered closer, its compound eyes fixed on the hologram. "This proves nothing. For all we know, this could be a pre-recorded message." Hiroki fought back a surge of irritation. "Then ask her something. Anything. Prove to yourself that this is real-time communication." Before the Arthesian could respond, alarms blared throughout the ship. Admiral Zixthar whirled towards a subordinate. "Report." The alien officer's tentacles writhed in agitation. "Multiple ships dropping out of faster-than-light travel." "Admiral." "There, it's the Krelax Armada." A collective gasp rippled through the assembled delegates. The Krelax were known throughout the galaxy as ruthless expansionists, always seeking new territories and technologies to conquer. How did they know? Sub-Admiral Kor demanded. This meeting was supposed to be secret. Hiroki's mind raced. The dimensional disruptions. Our use of SHIELD must have created ripples in space-time that they detected. They're here for the technology. Admiral Zixthar's expression hardened. Then they cannot be allowed to acquire it. This ship is not equipped for a full-scale battle. We must retreat, regroup with the Confederation fleet. "No," Hiroki shouted, surprising even himself with his vehemence. "We can't leave Earth defenseless. And Elena is still in the parallel dimension." The Admiral's tentacles curled in what Hiroki had come to recognize as sympathy. "I understand your concern, Dr. Tanaka, but we have no choice. The Krelax will." His words were cut off as the ship rocked violently. The Krelax had opened fire. In the chaos that followed, Hiroki made a split-second decision. He lunged for the shield device, quickly recalibrating it. "What are you doing?" Ambassador Scarith demanded. Hiroki's fingers flew over the controls. "Saving us all," he muttered. With a brilliant flash of light, the entire Confederation flagship vanished, reappearing in the parallel dimension where Elena waited. "Hiroki." Elena's voice came through clearly now. "What's happening?" "No time to explain," he replied, already working on the next phase of his desperate plan. "Elena, I need you to help me modify the shield field. We're going to create a dimensional barrier around Earth." As the Confederation delegates looked on in shock, Hiroki and Elena worked in perfect sync, their minds bridging the dimensional gap. The shield device hummed with power, drawing energy from the strange physics of the parallel dimension. Back in normal space, the Krelax Armada approached Earth, their weapons primed. But as they neared the planet, their sensors went haywire. The entire Sol system seemed to shimmer and then vanish. From their vantage point in the parallel dimension, Hiroki and Elena watched as a shimmering bubble enveloped Earth and its neighboring planets. The Krelax ships, visible as ghostly outlines, flew through the space where Earth should have been, finding nothing. It worked. Elena breathed, her voice filled with awe. "We've shifted the entire system slightly out of phase with normal space-time." Admiral Zixthar, who had been watching the proceedings with a mixture of fear and fascination, finally spoke. This This is beyond anything we thought possible. You've turned a defensive technology into a shield for an entire star system." Hiroki nodded grimly. "It won't hold forever. The energy requirements are enormous. But it buys us time." As if on cue, a new alarm sounded. Sub-Admiral Quor rushed to a console. "Admiral, we're detecting quantum fluctuations. I think it's the missing scout ships. They're aligning with our dimensional frequency." Sure enough, the ships that had vanished over the past months began to shimmer into view, their crews disoriented but unharmed. Ambassador Skirith, who had been uncharacteristically quiet, suddenly straightened. "This changes everything. The Krelax threat, the power of human technology. The Galactic Confederation cannot ignore this." Admiral Zixthar nodded solemnly. "Agreed. Dr. Tanaka, Dr. Rodriguez, you've demonstrated not only incredible scientific achievement, but also a willingness to use that power to protect others, even those who doubted you." Hiroki and Elena exchanged a look, hope blossoming in their chests. "What are you saying, Admiral?" Elena asked. "I'm saying," Zixthar replied, his tone formal but tinged with respect, "that in light of these events, I will be recommending Earth for immediate inclusion in the Galactic Confederation, not as a protectorate, but as a full member world." The human scientists stood in stunned silence as the implications washed over them. They had come to this meeting hoping for peaceful first contact. Instead, they had faced suspicion, confronted an invasion, and emerged as heroes not just of Earth, but potentially of the entire galaxy. As the Confederation delegates began discussing plans to repel the Krelax and integrate Earth into the galactic community, Hiroki turned to Elena, a weary but triumphant smile on his face. "So," he said, "still think HFY was just a defensive measure?" Elena laughed, the sound bright and hopeful in the swirling alien dimension. "I think, Dr. Tanaka, that we've just opened a door to a future bigger and brighter than we ever imagined." As they worked to stabilize the dimensional barrier and plan their return to normal space, both scientists knew that the real work was just beginning. Earth was about to take its place among the stars, and humanity would never be the same again. The battle for Earth had been won not with weapons, but with ingenuity, courage, and the uniquely human ability to turn defense into a bridge between worlds. A new galactic order. 1 year after the events that thrust humanity onto the galactic stage, the gleaming spires of New Geneva rose into the Swiss sky. The city, a marvel of human and alien engineering, stood as a symbol of Earth's new role in the cosmos. Today, it would host the first Galactic Confederation summit to be held on human soil. Dr. Elena Rodriguez stood at the window of her office, gazing out at the diverse beings from across the galaxy streaming into the Grand Assembly Hall. The sight still filled her with wonder, even after months of intensive diplomatic work. A familiar voice broke through her reverie. "Still can't believe it's real." Elena turned to see Hiroki Tanaka, a grin on his face and a glint in his eye that hadn't dimmed since their dimensional adventure. "Some days it feels like a dream," she admitted. Other days, it feels like we've opened Pandora's box." Hiroki finished for her. Elena nodded. The past year had been a whirlwind of technological exchange, cultural integration, and political maneuvering. Earth's inclusion in the Galactic Confederation had accelerated human development by centuries, but it had also brought new challenges and responsibilities. "The summit's about to begin," Hiroki said, gesturing towards the door. "Ready to change the course of galactic history again." Elena smoothed down her formal attire, a blend of traditional human design and alien aesthetics. "As ready as I'll ever be." As they made their way to the assembly hall, they passed displays showcasing the rapid advancements Earth had made. Holographic projections demonstrated new clean energy technologies, medical breakthroughs that promised to extend human lifespans, and prototype faster-than-light drives based on SHIELD principles. The assembly hall itself was a testament to the new galactic order. Delegates from hundreds of worlds filled the tiered seating, their diverse forms a living rainbow of galactic life. At the center, a raised platform held the seats of the Galactic Confederation's ruling council, including, for the first time, a representative from Earth. Admiral Zixthar, now serving as the Confederation's chief diplomat, called the session to order. His 4 eyes swept the room as a respectful hush fell over the delegates. Esteemed representatives of the Galactic Confederation, he began, his words translated simultaneously into thousands of languages. We gather here today to address the most significant shift in our cosmic society since the Confederation's founding. The inclusion of Earth and the adaptation of human technologies have ushered in a new era of possibility and responsibility. Elena and Hiroki took their seats among the Earth delegation, exchanging nods with President Okafor, who would be speaking on humanity's behalf. As the summit progressed, it became clear that the galaxy was still grappling with the implications of Earth's rapid rise. Some delegates spoke of the opportunities for advancement and exploration that Shield-derived technologies offered. Others voiced concerns about the potential for these same technologies to be used as weapons. The Arthesian ambassador, Skrith, who had once been their fiercest critic, now stood as one of Earth's strongest advocates. We feared what we did not understand, the ambassador admitted. But the humans have shown us that innovation need not come at the cost of compassion. Their willingness to share knowledge, to adapt and learn, sets an example for us all. When it was Earth's turn to speak, President Okafor rose, her presence commanding respect from the assembled delegates. Honored representatives of the Galactic Confederation, she began, her voice strong and clear. A year ago, Earth stood alone, unaware of the vastness of galactic society. Today, we stand among you as partners, as fellow explorers of the cosmic unknown. Our journey has been one of discovery, not just of new worlds and new civilizations, but of ourselves. She paused, her gaze sweeping the room. The Shield technology that brought us to your attention was born from a desire to protect and understand. As we move forward, we pledge to uphold these principles. We propose the establishment of a Galactic Science and Ethics Council to ensure that our shared advancements benefit all and threaten none. A murmur of approval rippled through the assembly. Elena felt a surge of pride. This had been her brainchild, a way to ensure that the power of SHIELD and other emerging technologies would be guided by the collective wisdom of the Confederation. As the summit continued, pivotal decisions were made. The Galactic Science and Ethics Council was unanimously approved. Plans were laid for joint scientific missions to explore the fringes of known space. A framework for cultural exchange programs was established, aimed at fostering understanding between the myriad species of the Confederation. But perhaps most significantly, a resolution was passed to reform the Confederation's approach to emerging civilizations. Earth's experience had shown the potential that primitive worlds held. A new protocol of guided introduction to galactic society was proposed, replacing the previous policy of non-interference. As the final votes were tallied, and the summit drew to a close, Elena and Hiroki found themselves once again by the window, looking out at the city that bridged Earth and the stars. "We did it," Hiroki said softly. "We've changed the course of galactic history." Elena nodded, a mix of emotions washing over her. "We've opened the door. Now the real work begins." As if on cue, her communicator chimed. A holographic display sprang to life, showing a star chart with an anomalous reading at its center. Dr. Rodriguez, the voice of a young scientist, came through, excitement evident in their tone. "We've detected unusual dimensional fluctuations in the Andromeda galaxy. It looks like someone else might be experimenting with Shield-like technology." Elena and Hiroki exchanged a look, equal parts excitement and trepidation reflected in their eyes. The story of humanity's cosmic journey was far from over. In fact, it seemed that the greatest chapters were yet to be written. "Looks like we got work to do," Elena said, a smile playing at her lips. "Shall we see what new wonders the universe has in store?" Hiroki grinned, the spark of adventure gleaming in his eyes. "Always." To the lab. To the lab, Elena agreed. As they hurried off, the sun set over New Geneva, its light glinting off the spires that reached for the stars. On the streets below, humans walked side by side with beings from across the cosmos, their chatter a symphony of languages and ideas. Earth had found its place in the galaxy, not through conquest or subjugation, but through ingenuity, adaptability, and an unwavering spirit of exploration. The disappearance of alien fleets near Earth had been just the beginning. Now, humanity stood ready to help write the next chapter in the grand cosmic story. The age of Earth's isolation was over. The age of galactic cooperation had begun. And somewhere out there, amid the countless stars and swirling galaxies, new mysteries and new friends awaited, ready to be discovered.